Hi, students and teachers. Brad Philpott here with another little video on the individual oral. And today I'd like to focus on signposts and sentence starters, right? These are the little bits of language that are going to help you navigate your way through your individual oral. In a previous video, I talked about the PEAL structure as a method to help you organize your I.O. It's point, evidence, explain, link back to the global issue. I'm going to go through this today, these 5 steps. 6 steps, sorry, and show you some of the linguistic tools, the bits of language that will help you take these steps and have a pretty coherent and effective I.O. So I'll reference some examples from my support site. There's a sample that I've got in mind about Maya Angelou, and the student says, Angelou also uses many parallelisms in her interrogative questions to show her strength in her battle against oppression. Typical topic sentence, she's connecting style to the global issue. Essentially, that's what you'll want to do in that topic sentence. She does it again elsewhere. Through the repetition of the sentence structure, Angelou highlights the repeated oppression she faces. And I love that second example because it shows an inherent connection between the authorial choice and the authorial intent by repeating the word repeat, essentially. Now, I know the verb to use is really popular, and for good reason, when setting up and introducing a stylistic feature, right? Through the use of, or by using this authorial choice, the author achieves the purpose of. I know some students use utilize or employ. I've always found those verbs a little weird. You can look up their definition. I prefer the verb to use, personally. Look, and when you make these points, you'll need a power verb or two. So what is it that the authors of these works achieve or aim to achieve? They aim to comment critically on, right? Or in order to spread awareness about, or in order to question why, or in order to convince readers that, or to present the global issue of. These are really important verbs for establishing authorial intent. And that really happens in that topic sentence at the top of a chunk of textual analysis, right? So when you want to set up your quote from your extract, you'll need line numbers if they're there, if you have that, and an example from the site. There are similes such as just like moons or like suns in line 9, or a metaphor like I am a black ocean in line 33, where the audience sees. So you could see, these little words like where and such as and inline or like. That helps me understand how she's integrating the quotations into her argument. And there are other verbs to help you do that. A lot of students use the verb, they overuse the verb to show, but you can vary that up with the verbs to illustrate, to depict, or the passive form of to be, which can be seen in the first still of the extract where. You'll see that last example there is really about referring to a non-literary body of work in a still from a moving image, a film, documentary, or such. And you don't want to summarize your description of those images, but you do need to reference them for sure in order to set up a bit of analysis, right? An explanation of the effects of language, visual language, on the reader or audience. So here are some examples from the student. As the music rises to a crescendo, the audience feels empowered. All right, cool. The increase in tempo creates an uplifting tone, right? Thus, rhymes, the author, encourages women to find comfort and love in their unique traits. All right, encouraging. I love there's a relationship there between the author or the writer and the audience, women. Other verbs that you'll need definitely for textual analysis include suggest, right? In a phrase, ... which suggests that, or you've included a little quote there, which symbolizes the way that, implying that, evoking a sense of, which resonates with the reader because, right? Great little phrases. Now, this is a point in the analysis where you switch back to evidence from not the extract in front of you, but now to the non-literary work, body of work, or the literary work. And you'll need little words like this, like similar or furthermore, or in another advertisement, anaphora is also used, right? Similar use of music and tempo can also be found in the advertisement. Those types of words are really effective for telling your teacher, the examiner, that you're zigzagging now between the extract and the literary work. Super important. And you can also use phrases like this, like later in the play, in a scene. It's important to mention text type from time to time, right? So we know what we're talking about. In another photograph by, or in the rest of the literary work, this issue is explored when. So be sure to set up or reference that literary work, the rest of the literary work, or the non-literary body of work. And a little side note here, you can include quotes from the rest of the literary work or non-literary work in your outline. So they're right there in front of you when it comes time to perform that individual oral. And again, little adverbs here like, again, this suggests that, are going to help you analyze to get into the rest of the non-literary work. Or here too, one also feels, the reader also sees that. And when we kind of tie all this back together to the global issue, it's good to use these adverbs like effectively or adeptly. They are really good at commenting on evaluating, right? Criterion B is analysis and evaluation. So, which again effectively presents the issue of how, or thus reinforcing the message that, adeptly exploring the idea that. These little words and phrases are like a clue to your teacher, your examiner, that you are evaluating the text as well in light of the global issue. You're really answering the question, so what? Who cares about this global issue? Well, it matters for these reasons, and the author is good at presenting it for these reasons. More signposts. When you've done a chunk of PEL, you'll move on to another chunk of PEL, and you'll want to set that up, right, to return to the extract, moving from the extract to the rest of the literary work. Or another stylistic feature that X uses throughout the literary work is such and such, right? Those are little great pivots that you can use throughout. So this has been a long list of words and features, of bits of language that you can use in your I.O. I hope you appreciate them. I've got worksheets and more resources to help you develop your individual oral and structure it effectively, coherently. Feel free to check that out here on our support site, philpott.education. Lots of good stuff there. I wish you all the best in your exams. Good luck.